In a world full of noise and distractions, true wisdom is rare, but it's there, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to question, to challenge, and to redefine their reality. This video is not just a guide, it's a call to awaken the deeper wisdom within you. Prepare to embark on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew. So let's begin. Before you seek the light, you must first descend into your own darkness. The shadows within you are not your enemy. They are the soil from which wisdom grows. Yet most of you flee from them, terrified of what you might find. You wear masks of perfection, constructing fragile castles of lies to hide the cracks in your foundation. But the truth is relentless. It seeps through, no matter how tightly you close your eyes. You fear your weaknesses because they threaten the image you've built for the world. But here is the paradox. Only by confronting them can you transcend them. The courage to stand naked before your flaws, to admit your fears and failures, is the first act of liberation. Those who refuse to face their inner chaos are forever enslaved by it, living as strangers to their own souls. The light you seek is not external. It does not come from applause or validation. It comes from clarity, from the brutal honesty to say, "This is who I am, both broken and whole." Only then can you begin to sculpt yourself into something greater. Do not mistake this for defeat. To embrace your darkness is not to surrender to it, but to master it. It is to take the jagged shards of your being and forge them into a weapon of understanding. For the path to wisdom does not begin with comfort or ease. It begins with the unflinching gaze into the abyss of your own imperfection. And when you can do this without flinching, without turning away, you will find that the abyss gazes back not with malice, but with the promise of transformation. The crowd moves like a river, surging forward without thought, without purpose, driven by the comfort of its own noise. It is easy to be swept along, to let the current carry you, for the crowd promises safety in its sameness. But safety is a cage, and the crowd is its jailer. To follow the herd is to suffocate the fire of your individuality, to dull the sharp edges of your mind until you are nothing more than a shadow among shadows. The truth, though bitter, is this: the crowd fears those who walk alone. They will mock you, cast stones at your back and call you mad, but their scorn is the melody of their own fear, a hymn to the mediocrity they have embraced. They do not hate you for breaking away. They hate you because your defiance reminds them of their own chains. To stand apart is to face the abyss of solitude, but it is also to taste freedom. The path to wisdom, to greatness, is not paved with the footsteps of others. It is wild, untamed, and uncertain. It demands the courage to leave behind the comforting lies of the crowd and to seek the raw, unfiltered truth of existence. This path is not for the weak, for it will strip you of every illusion, every falsehood you have clung to in the dark. But it is only through this stripping away that you will discover the core of who you truly are. The herd cannot teach you wisdom, for it does not seek it. The herd seeks comfort, conformity, and the illusion of unity. But you are not born to echo their cries. You are born to carve your own path, no matter how treacherous or lonely it may seem. Trust not the crowd, for it knows nothing of the heights to which you can ascend. Trust instead the quiet voice within you, the one that whispers of mountains yet to be climbed and truths yet to be unearthed. The crowd is a mirage, a fleeting illusion of belonging. But you, if you dare to walk alone, you are real. Your journey will not be easy, but it will be yours. And when you look back, you will see the crowd far below, still circling in its endless, mindless dance, while you stand above, breathing the rarefied air of freedom. Pain is the cruelest of teachers, yet it is the only one that never lies to you. It strips away the illusions you've built, exposing the raw, unvarnished truth you've tried so hard to ignore. You curse it, you flee from it, you bury it deep within yourself, hoping it will disappear. But pain is relentless. It does not vanish. It waits, patient and unyielding, until you have the courage to face it. You have been taught to fear pain, to treat it as an enemy. But this is the great deception of the weak. Pain is not your adversary. It is your ally. It does not come to destroy you, but to transform you, to burn away what is false and leave behind the essence of who you are. Every scar, every ache, every tear you have shed is a lesson written into the fabric of your soul. Those who avoid pain avoid the truth. The world promises you comfort, but comfort is a prison. It lulls you into stagnation, whispers lies of permanence and ease, and shields you from the very experiences that could set you free. Pain, on the other hand, offers you no such illusions. It forces you to confront your limitations, to shatter your illusions of control, and to see yourself as you truly are, vulnerable yet unbreakable. Do not run from pain. Invite it in. Sit with it. Let it speak to you. For in its harsh, unforgiving voice lies wisdom that cannot be learned through joy. Pain teaches you patience when the world demands urgency. It teaches you strength when you feel weakest. It teaches you humility when your ego grows too large, and courage when fear threatens to consume you. Those who embrace pain do not become victims of it. They become its masters. They wear their scars not as marks of defeat, but as symbols of survival, of growth, of transformation. They do not ask, "Why me?" but rather, "What can I learn?" And in this, they find a power the unscarred will never know. Understand this. Pain is not the end of your journey. It is the fire that forges you, the storm that clears the path ahead. To learn from it is to rise above it, to take what was meant to break you and use it to build a foundation stronger than before. So do not curse your pain. Thank it, for it has shaped you into the person you are becoming. And when you emerge from its grip, you will not be the same. You will be greater. The world owes you nothing. Its indifference is not cruelty but reality. Justice, fairness, equality, these are human constructs, noble aspirations perhaps, but they are not the laws by which the universe operates. The sun rises and sets without concern for your struggles. The storms rage without apology. The world does not pause to weep for your pain, nor does it celebrate your triumphs. Accept this, and you will free yourself from the chains of expectation. To demand fairness is to demand that the tides obey your will or the mountains bow before you. It is a futile cry into the void. The energy you waste lamenting the world's injustices is the very energy you need to change your circumstances. Complaining is the anthem of the powerless. Action is the language of those who seek transformation. When you rail against the unfairness of life, you are not seeking justice. You are seeking escape. You wish to avoid the hard truths, the brutal reality that life is a battlefield, not a sanctuary. To thrive, you must become the warrior who does not wait for the battle to favor them, but adapts, fights, and persists regardless of the odds. Fairness is not a gift. It is something forged in the fire of your will. And even then, it will never be perfect. There will always be forces beyond your control, adversities that crush the unprepared, and victories that go to those less deserving. This is the nature of existence. Do not waste your breath cursing it. Instead, rise above it. The world does not owe you justice, but it offers you opportunity, if you are bold enough to seize it. Every obstacle, every setback, every perceived injustice is a test. Not of the world's fairness, but of your resilience. Will you crumble under the weight of your grievances, or will you sharpen them into tools for your ascent? Stop waiting for the world to align itself with your desires. Stop expecting life to play by rules that exist only in your mind. The universe is chaos, and within chaos lies infinite possibility. Those who accept this truth do not merely survive, they thrive. They do not waste time wishing for fairness. They create their own balance, their own justice, their own destiny. The world is not fair, but you can be strong, resourceful, and unyielding, and that in the end matters far more than the fairness you once sought. Doubt is the sharpest blade in the arsenal of the wise. To doubt is to question, to challenge, to peel back the comforting layers of belief and confront the raw, unyielding face of reality. Yet most fear doubt, for it threatens the fragile towers of certainty they have built. Certainty feels safe, like a fortress, but it is nothing more than a gilded cage. To believe without question is to surrender your freedom, to imprison your mind within the walls of dogma. Whether it is the dogma of others or the one you've constructed for yourself, doubt everything, even the truths you hold most sacred, especially the truths you hold most sacred, for it is in the scrutiny of your convictions that they are tested, refined, and made real. A belief unchallenged is nothing more than an echo, a hollow sound repeating endlessly within the chambers of your own mind. But a belief forged in the fires of doubt, one that survives questioning, skepticism, even despair, that is a belief worth holding. Do not fear doubting yourself. You are not infallible. You are a mosaic of contradictions, a labyrinth of desires, fears and aspirations. To doubt yourself is not to diminish your worth, but to sharpen your awareness. It is to see yourself not as a fixed entity, but as a work in progress, constantly evolving, growing, becoming. Those who never doubt themselves remain stagnant, blind to their own flaws, their own potential. But beware, doubt is not the same as indecision. Doubt is not paralysis. It is movement, exploration, the relentless pursuit of what lies beyond the obvious. To doubt is to refuse complacency, to reject the easy answers in favor of the difficult questions. It is to walk the razor's edge between confidence and humility, always aware of the fragility of what you know. Doubt is not a weakness. It is a strength disguised as uncertainty. It keeps your mind alive, your spirit restless, your vision clear. It protects you from the tyranny of absolutes, from the seductive comfort of knowing when in truth you are lost. The wise do not cling to their beliefs. They wield them lightly, ready to discard or reshape them as new truths emerge. If you cannot doubt, you cannot grow. If you cannot doubt, you cannot see. And if you cannot doubt, you cannot truly live. So doubt the world, doubt its promises, and doubt even the voice inside you that claims to know the way. In that doubt you will find freedom. In that freedom you will find wisdom. Silence is not emptiness. It is not weakness. It is a weapon, sharper than the loudest words and more profound than the fiercest argument. The one who knows when to speak and when to fall silent wields a power few can comprehend. For silence is not the absence of action. It is action itself, deliberate and precise. To remain silent in a world intoxicated with noise is to rise above it, to reject the chaos and claim a vantage point of clarity. Your instinct may urge you to fight, to fill the void with your voice, to insist on being heard. But not every battle is worth waging, and not every word deserves an answer. The wise understand this. They know that silence can wound more deeply than an insult, that it can disarm an opponent without lifting a finger. To speak is to engage. To remain silent is to transcend. Consider this. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is presence, focused, unwavering, and unyielding. It forces others to confront themselves, to hear their own echoes bouncing back at them. It leaves space for truth to emerge, unadorned by the clamor of argument. In silence, you hold your ground without being drawn into the fray, asserting your strength without the need for display. But silence demands discipline. To remain silent when your pride screams for vindication, when your ego thirsts for dominance, is an act of mastery. It is to say, I do not need to prove myself to you. Your opinion has no power over me. This is not surrender. It is sovereignty. There is wisdom in knowing which battles will advance you and which will only drain you. Silence is the refusal to squander your energy on the trivial, the petty, the inconsequential. It is the recognition that not every provocation deserves a response, that not every disagreement requires resolution. When you choose silence, you choose yourself. You conserve your strength for battles that matter, for moments where your voice will carry the weight it deserves. And yet, silence is not always easy. It requires courage to resist the urge to retaliate, to allow the storm to pass without adding to its fury. But in that restraint lies immense power. Silence speaks volumes to those who know how to listen. It is the language of the wise, the unspoken declaration of confidence and control. So when the world demands your reaction, when voices rise and tempers flare, remember this. Sometimes the loudest answer is the one you do not give. In your silence, you are unshakable, untouchable, and profoundly free. Your enemies are your truest mirrors. They see you in ways your friends cannot, with a clarity unclouded by affection or loyalty. Their gaze is sharp, dissecting, merciless. They are not blinded by love or softened by kindness. They study your flaws with the precision of a predator. And though their intent may be to harm you, their insights can be your greatest gift, if you have the courage to accept them. Friends offer comfort, but it is your enemies who offer growth. They will not shield you from your shortcomings. They will exploit them. They will not ignore your weaknesses. They will magnify them. In doing so, they force you to confront the parts of yourself you would rather ignore. Their criticism, bitter as it may taste, is the raw material of self-awareness. To reject it outright is to blind yourself to your own potential for transformation. Do not hate your enemies for their honesty. Value it. Their words, though laced with malice, often reveal truths that your closest allies hesitate to speak. A friend may soothe your wounds, but an enemy shows you where you bleed. This is not betrayal. It is a form of brutal clarity. To learn from your enemies is to take their weapons and turn them into tools. But this is not an easy path. To truly learn from those who despise you, you must first silence the voice of your ego. You must resist the urge to defend yourself, to retaliate, to dismiss their words as mere venom. Instead, listen, discern, extract the truth from their attacks and discard the rest. This is not submission, it is strategy. You are not yielding to their power, you are using it to fortify your own. Your enemies, in their relentless pursuit to undermine you, will often show you who you are. They will reveal your fears, your insecurities, your blind spots. And in doing so, they offer you the map to your own liberation. For every criticism is an opportunity to improve, every insult a chance to strengthen your resolve. They do not intend to help you, but that is precisely what makes their lessons so valuable. Embrace this paradox. Your enemies are not your downfall. They are your forge. Each conflict, each confrontation shapes you, hones you, makes you sharper, stronger, more aware. To learn from them is not to become like them. It is to rise above them. It is to take the pain they inflict and transform it into wisdom, the hatred they project and turn it into understanding. Your enemies, unwittingly, are your teachers. Do not fear them, do not despise them. Thank them, silently, without arrogance, for the unwelcome gift of their insight. And then, with the strength you've gained from their lessons, surpass them. Failure is not your enemy. It is your guide, your mentor in the shadows. It is the fire that burns away your pretensions, your illusions of invulnerability, and reveals the raw, uncomfortable truth of who you are. To fail is to be humbled, to be forced to confront the limits of your knowledge and ability. And in that confrontation, in that moment of defeat, there lies an opportunity greater than any fleeting success. The world does not reward you for avoiding failure. It rewards you for your resilience, for your ability to rise, to learn, and to grow. Failure is the soil from which wisdom sprouts, the dark abyss in which your deepest understanding is forged. It is the pressure that turns coal into diamonds, the struggle that turns stone into statues. Without failure, there is no mastery, only stagnation. Yet most fear failure, as if it were a beast lurking in the shadows, waiting to devour them whole. But this fear is the greatest illusion of all. To avoid failure is to avoid life itself, to choose the comfort of inaction over the chaos of growth. The only true failure is inaction, the refusal to engage with the world, to risk, to challenge, to create. Do not fear the fall. The fall is where the transformation occurs. The fall is where you learn what you are made of, where the mask of perfection slips and your true self emerges. Each failure strips away what is false, exposing what is real. It is only through failure that you find clarity, that you understand the depth of your own potential. Those who fear failure are prisoners of their own comfort, shackled to a life of mediocrity. They may never experience the pain of falling, but they will never know the thrill of rising. They will remain in the shallow waters of existence, never daring to dive into the depths of their own being. Failure is not something to avoid, it is something to embrace. It is the great teacher, the one who speaks in the language of suffering and triumph. It is not the end of the road, but the beginning of a new path, one carved through the struggle, shaped by the lessons learned in the dark. Do not be afraid of falling. Be afraid only of standing still, of letting the fear of failure paralyze you into inaction. For in the end, it is not failure that defines you, it is your response to it. It is the strength to rise again, the courage to face the challenge once more, and the wisdom to know that each failure is simply a step on the path to something greater. Energy is the most precious currency you possess. It is the fire that fuels your desires, the force that drives your actions, and the wellspring from which your creativity flows. But be warned, it is finite. Every word you speak, every argument you engage in, every meaningless task you allow to consume your time, drains you. It is the silent thief, stealing from you piece by piece until you are left with nothing but exhaustion and regret. Consider this. The world is a vast ocean of distractions, each one clamoring for your attention, each one demanding your energy. The more you give in, the more you dissipate your power. 1,000 voices will try to lead you astray, 1,000 tasks will pull you in 1,000 different directions, and each one will draw from the well of your strength until you are nothing but a shadow of your potential. To master yourself, you must master your energy. You must learn to say no, to guard the gates of your life with the same vigilance that a king defends his throne. Every yes is a commitment, an investment of your time and effort. Not every request deserves your energy. Not every conversation is worth your presence. Not every battle is yours to fight. To say no is not weakness, it is strength. It is the declaration that your time is sacred, that your energy is too valuable to be squandered on the trivial, the petty, the inconsequential. It is to set boundaries, to create space for what truly matters. It is to refuse to be drawn into the vortex of other people's chaos, to remain centered in your own purpose. Most people live as if they have an endless supply of energy, believing that they can afford to give a piece of themselves to every cause, every person, every whim. But this is the path of the weak. The strong understand the value of their energy. They are not easily swayed. They do not waste their fire on every passing breeze. They reserve their strength for what is truly worthy. The art of saying no is the art of self-preservation. It is the recognition that every moment you spend on something or someone is a moment you cannot get back. You must choose wisely. You must decide what to invest in, what to nurture, and what to release. Energy is not to be squandered. It is to be invested, and only you can decide where to place your trust, your time, and your power. To protect your energy is to protect your essence, to preserve your potential. When you learn to say no, you free yourself from the tyranny of others' demands and step into the sovereignty of your own existence. Guard your energy, protect your focus, and let nothing distract you from the path that you alone are meant to walk. The past is a heavy chain, a weight that can drag you down into the depths of stagnation. It is a collection of memories, regrets, and triumphs that cling to you like a shadow, whispering old stories that no longer serve you, yet most live bound by it, shackled to what has been, unable to break free from the illusions of what once was. But if you are to move forward, if you are to rise to the heights of your potential, you must learn to sever the ties to what is no more. The past is a lie, a false construct that distorts your vision of the present and clouds your future. It is not a place to live, but a place to learn from. Every moment you spend looking back is a moment you rob from the future. The ghosts of yesterday will always be there, but they are not your masters unless you choose to let them be. Wisdom lies, not in clinging to the past, but in knowing when to release it. The strength to let go of what has been is the strength to embrace what can be. You must be willing to turn your back on the familiar, the comfortable, the known, and step into the unknown. It is a terrifying act, for the past is a refuge, a place where your identity is formed and your stories are written. But to cling to it is to remain trapped in a prison of your own making. The past serves its purpose as a teacher. It offers lessons, yes, but it also offers a warning. Do not become so enamored with your own history that you cease to evolve. The man who refuses to let go of his yesterday is a man who has stopped growing, who has ceased to challenge himself and move forward. He has settled, and in settling, he condemns himself to a life of repetition. To release the past is to declare your independence. It is to say, I am not defined by what has happened to me, but by what I choose to become. You are not the sum of your mistakes, nor are you the product of your past victories. You are a work in progress, an unfinished masterpiece, and only by shedding the weight of yesterday can you move freely toward your true potential. Do not be afraid to let go. The world is vast, and your future is waiting to be written. The past is but a chapter in the book of your life, but it is not the book itself. You are the author of your own story, and the only way to create something new is to release the old pages. Be ready to let go of the past, for in that release, you will find a freedom you never thought possible. Only then can you truly live in the present, fully engaged with the now, with all the possibilities and opportunities that lie before you. The past is gone, and it does not serve you. The future, however, is yours to shape. The approval of others is nothing more than a fleeting whisper, a ghostly echo in the wind. It's a mirage, an illusion that disappears as soon as you think you've grasped it, yet so many spend their lives chasing it, as though the opinions of others can provide them with meaning, purpose, or direction. The truth is far more brutal. To live for the approval of others is to surrender your soul to the whims of the crowd, to allow your very existence to be dictated by forces outside your control. Understand this now. The opinions of others are not your compass. They are not your truth. They are but the noises of a world constantly in motion, filled with voices that are as uncertain and transient as the wind. To seek validation from others is to build your life on a foundation of shifting sands. 1 moment you are praised, the next you are discarded. Their fleeting approval cannot anchor you. It can only drag you further into the abyss of dependency and self-doubt. The strongest among us are those who do not seek the nod of approval from the masses. They are the ones who dare to stand alone, to follow the path that burns with their own flame, no matter how dim the world around them may seem. Their power lies not in the approval of others, but in their unwavering commitment to their own vision, their own truth. They are not swayed by the tides of public opinion. They sail their own course, no matter how rough the sea may get. It is not the approval of others that defines you. It is your ability to define yourself. When you seek validation from the outside, you remain a prisoner to the expectations of others. You become a mere reflection, a puppet responding to every pull of the strings. But when you stop seeking approval, you begin to discover the power of your own voice. You start to speak your truth, to live your reality, and to break free from the chains of external influence. Do not misunderstand this as a call for isolation or arrogance. It is not the rejection of others, but the rejection of their control over your existence. The moment you stop living for others, you reclaim your life. You take ownership of your choices, your actions, your destiny. You become the creator of your own world, not a mere spectator in someone else's. The world will always try to tell you who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live. But these are not your rules. Your life is yours to craft, yours to shape. When you stop seeking approval, you free yourself to become who you truly are, to live authentically without fear of judgment or condemnation. So, let go of the need for external validation. Let the winds of public opinion blow, but do not let them steer your ship. Stand firm, anchored in your own beliefs, your own desires, and your own truth. The approval of others is nothing more than a hollow echo. Your own approval, however, is the only one that matters. In a world obsessed with complexity, simplicity stands as the highest form of wisdom. It is easy to complicate things, to layer them with extraneous details, to adorn them with meaningless embellishments, to drown them in the noise of endless explanation. Most people do this because they fear the essence of things. They fear the clarity that simplicity brings. They pile on the layers, thinking that more is better, that complexity holds the key to understanding. But in truth, simplicity is the key to seeing the world as it truly is. The mind, in its natural state, craves simplicity. It yearns to grasp the truth in its purest form, unencumbered by the distractions of falsehoods and excess. But we, as humans, complicate it. We layer our lives with unnecessary struggles, with convoluted thoughts, with the relentless pursuit of more. And in doing so, we blind ourselves to what truly matters. Simplicity is not shallow. It is the depth of clarity, the clearness of vision. It allows you to cut through the noise and see the truth that lies beneath. It is the ability to strip away the non-essential, to remove the distractions, and to focus on what truly matters. The greatest truths are often the simplest, hidden in plain sight, waiting for those wise enough to see them. To live simply is not to live without ambition or purpose, but to live with a singular focus, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary complexities. It is to understand that the most profound insights often come not from adding more, but from removing what is irrelevant. The world will tell you that success is a tangled web of achievements, possessions, and accolades. But true success, true wisdom, lies in the ability to simplify. The sage does not fill his life with clutter. He empties it, making space for the essence of being. He does not speak in riddles or convoluted terms. He speaks plainly, cutting to the heart of the matter. Simplicity requires strength. It requires the courage to let go of the distractions, to stop chasing the false idols of complexity and confusion. It demands that you trust in the power of what is essential. The man who can simplify is the man who can see clearly, who can act decisively, and who can live with purpose. The world may try to convince you that complexity is the path to understanding. But this is a lie. The truth is simple, and it is often the simplest things that hold the greatest power. If you want to understand the world, you must learn to simplify. You must learn to cut through the noise and focus on the heart of the matter. Only then will you see things as they truly are, and only then will you find the wisdom that lies hidden in simplicity. Each day is a test, an examination of your very being. The choices you make, the actions you take, the words you speak, they are all responses to the most fundamental question you will ever encounter. Who am I? Too often, we live as though we are on autopilot, drifting through the motions of life without truly considering the significance of each moment. But this is a mistake. Every day is a new opportunity to define yourself, to answer that question with every breath you take, with every step you make. Your actions are the reflection of your soul, the manifestation of your inner convictions. They reveal who you truly are, not in the grand gestures, but in the smallest of moments. The way you treat a stranger, the way you react to adversity, the way you hold yourself when no one is watching, these are the true answers to the question, who am I? To live with this awareness is to live with purpose. It is to recognize that every moment is a chance to either grow or shrink, to either elevate yourself or fall into mediocrity. The test is constant. It is not a single event, but a series of moments, a continuous flow of decisions that shape the essence of who you become. The wise man does not need grand external challenges to test his wisdom. His daily life is his greatest trial. Every choice is a brushstroke, every action a chapter in the book of his life. He knows that he is always under scrutiny, not from the world, but from himself. He knows that his own judgment is the one that matters most, for it is his own soul that he must answer to. To live without awareness of this test is to drift aimlessly, to live as if your actions have no consequences. But every action, no matter how small, is a statement of who you are and who you are becoming. This awareness is the key to understanding yourself, to unlocking your true potential. It forces you to take responsibility for your life and for the person you are creating with. Every choice you make, so ask yourself, who am I? With every decision you make, with every word you speak, with every movement of your body. Your answer lies not in your intentions, but in your actions. Every day is an opportunity to live in alignment with your highest self, to show the world who you truly are through the way you live, through the way you engage with the world, through the way you confront the trials of life. Live with the knowledge that your life is a test, and that test is not just about success or failure. It's about the integrity of your being, the authenticity of your choices, and the wisdom you gain with each moment. Who you are is not defined by what you say, but by what you do. And every day is a chance to prove once again who you truly are. As you walk through life, remember this. Every step you take is a statement, every choice a reflection of your essence. Do not seek approval, do not hide from pain, and do not live for the past. Embrace simplicity, trust in your own wisdom, and know that your journey is yours alone to shape. The world may try to define you, but the only definition that matters is the one you carve for yourself. Live boldly, live truthfully, live fully.